Joining the program right now is my congressman representing Florida, Michael Waltz. Congressman, welcome back to the program.
Hey, thanks so much. Good to be with you.
So we have this stunning report. Bear with me. I want to play some audio of CNN just breaking the news about the coronavirus report, leaked documents out of China. Producer Paul, part one.
CNN has obtained leaked documents from inside China, documents that reveal the missteps and the chaos of the Chinese government's early response to the coronavirus pandemic. The documents are from Hubei province, home to the city of Wuhan, where the pandemic is thought to have started. They show authorities released misleading public data on the number of deaths and the number of cases. They took, on average, 3 weeks to diagnose a new case and much more. CNN's Nick Payton-Walsh is breaking this story for us right now.
An unprecedented leak of internal Chinese documents to CNN reveals for the first time what China knew in the opening weeks of the COVID-19 pandemic, but did not tell the world. A whistleblower who said they worked inside the Chinese healthcare system shared the documents with CNN online, which show a chaotic local response from the start.
This lack of transparency sort of also contributed to the crisis.
And Congressman, it's not a lack of transparency. China lied, but these documents prove the lie of what we suspected all along. What are your thoughts?
Well, if it weren't so tragic, this is just laughable on CNN's part. I mean, this is just a bout of epic journalism here from CNN. If you can't hear the sarcasm in my voice. That is revealing to the world what President Trump, our intelligence community, Republicans like myself in Congress have been saying for all of 2020. But now, CNN has this breaking news that they've just discovered that China lied, that an authoritarian regime covers up its mistakes, and allowed this virus to morph very quickly from a local epidemic to a global pandemic. But, just the breathless breaking news on CNN's part is really jaw-dropping.
And they have the ticker about the cases and the deaths, and it is used, Congressman, as sort of fact. We've always known that China has had to, just the sheer number of people in that country, the norms in the culture, the density. Of course they had the most cases, and of course they had the most deaths. But you're right. It's not for whatever reason. CNN just wanted to use this virus as a bludgeon to beat the president and anyone actually questioning and critically thinking about it over the head.
Oh, it's gone even much further than that. The House of Representatives put together a China task force to really look at the entire relationship, which I believe we are in a Cold War type competition now with the Chinese Communist Party, and they have been with us for several decades. We're just waking up to the fact that we are with them, but it spread across 10 committees, over a dozen members of Congress. Here's the point. Nancy Pelosi pulled the Democrats from the committee, and we're looking at everything from military to space to economic competition to onshoring and bringing our manufacturing back home and those dependencies. She pulled the Democrats the night before the launch of the task force back in March because she said it contributed to Donald Trump's diversion diversion of blame to China away from his own missteps. And CNN and the mainstream media parroted that same line. In fact, there's tweets and posts and blogs and articles from CNN back in March and April parroting Chinese communist propaganda saying we've solved the virus problem. Look at our superior form of government. So it's really been jaw-dropping how politics and how their hatred for the Trump administration has, and anything that comes from them, have actually led them to feed the propaganda machine of our greatest adversary as it literally released this virus upon the entire world.
Yeah, they were impeaching the president as he was rightfully shutting off travel.
That's right.
From China.
And being called xenophobic. by Joe Biden, amongst many others.
And to that point, I've called the China communist regime a Nazi regime. They literally have the concentration camps in the Xinjiang province. We know Joe Biden, should he be sworn in, he's literally bought and paid for. His family is doing business with Chinese-backed countries. The FBI is investigating his son for related activities in those business dealings. But what do these new revelations, if we can call them that? But these documents are absolutely stunning. It changes, a thinking that the Trump administration had, in which it knew that that China couldn't be trusted, let alone on this issue. What does this mean? Should the Biden administration come in, where they're already talking in conciliatory ways about Iran?
Yeah, I hope they've had a real wake-up call on China and the CCP. Let's just walk down the kind of bidding right now. The Chinese now have a larger Navy. The Chinese Navy is larger than the United States Navy. It's not as good yet, but it's larger. They're building a ship every 6 weeks. They've launched more satellites into space last year than the rest of the world combined. They're looking to double their nuclear arsenal. And they're looking, really what they're counting on is the United States bankrupting itself, part of which is the trillions we're spending to combat the coronavirus. And President Xi of China openly talks about the China dream replacing the American dream around the world. So I pray, as an American, that Biden has changed his thinking, although just this year he said the rise of China is come on, man, it's no big deal. Right. Right now, as we speak, his son is an equity holder, a business partner with Chinese government-backed entities. While he proudly proclaimed he's no longer receiving a fee as a board member of these entities, he's still on the board and still owns shares and is still a partner. The son of the man who is about to become our commander-in-chief if the courts don't overturn some of these votes. So some of these fraudulent votes, excuse me. So, I'm really worried. I'm very concerned. And to your final point on the slave labor and the genocidal behavior of the Chinese Communist Party, I agree with you. They are behaving and have behaved like a Nazi regime. They are conducting genocide of their Muslim population, the Uyghurs. We have a bill that has moved through the House of Representatives, trying to move through the Senate, that bans that type of labor coming into products into the United States, slave labor. All Christians and others are also lumped in to that bill. And companies like Nike, Coca-Cola, Disney, and others that are so, I'm putting air quotes here, woke in terms of social justice in the United States, are actually fighting this bill that is only looking to stop slave labor from contributing to their products, but they're fighting this bill in their hypocrisy. And so this is because they're completely addicted to the cheap labor and slave labor that is China, that's in China, rather than bringing their manufacturing back here to the United States. So this is a true fight on our hands here, and one of my missions is to really wake America up to what we're dealing with.